Shall we?
So Beth said we don't want to, so I don't know what we want to do.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 miles away. I wonder if they notice over there. Until the light throws colors across the vista, piling so high they reach out of sight to heaven.
Before I begin, please remember to set your phone in worship mode. Thank you. Good morning. Welcome to Horizon Unitarian Universalist Church. My name is April Barlow. My pronouns are she, her, hers. I am serving as your worship associate this morning. I am joined by our worship leader, Reverend Chris Rothbauer, whose pronouns are they, them, their. We are excited to welcome you to our worship service this morning. We're so glad to have you with us today, whether you're joining us in person or virtually, whether you're here for the first time, or whether you've been here for longer than you can remember. Here at Horizon, we welcome people of all faiths and of no faith in particular. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on your journey, you are welcome among us. Please be our guest after the service for coffee and conversation in the fellowship hall. As a community, we also welcome the sharing of joys, sorrows, and concerns. You are welcome to fill out a joys and sorrows slip on the table near the Welcome Center, in the pockets of chairs, and on the joys and sorrows table in the front of the sanctuary, and/or you are welcome to light a candle. This can be done at any time before the service or in service from the beginning through the offertory.
So before we get started, I want to talk to us for just a second about something that's happening in the larger world, and that's, you might have saw in the news that Dallas has been called the third worst place in the country for flu right now. There are 2 strains of flu, pneumonia, and COVID all going around right now. You might have also noticed that our sanctuary is a lot fuller than it has been in the past. That's a good problem to have. But we've been talking in the leadership level and at the worship committee about what does this all mean for our practice at the end of holding hands. We want to, for now, suspend holding hands. And when we bring it back, we're going to be looking for a way to empower people, if they don't feel comfortable, to not hold hands. We also want to point out that if you are one of those folks who has a greater risk threshold than others, we do have the service piping into the fellowship hall. We would invite you, and it's a lot less crowded in there. If you feel like that would be more comfortable, we invite you to do that. We also invite you to mask, as some of our friends are already doing again. The key is we want to make sure everyone's feeling comfortable to come to church and everyone has a way to participate that feels good to them. When it comes up to the benediction today, I'm going to introduce a new practice to us. You'll see more then. Our call to worship this morning is from Leslie Takahashi. To worship means to consider that which has worth. Today we consider with gratitude the many gifts of this community, the opportunity to be affirmed in who we are and to offer that affirmation to others. The chance to stand up together to help remake the world in the ideal of justice. The freedom to choose one's path to truth and to learn from the travelogues of others. The space to expand one's own spirit and to reconnect after busy or humdrum weeks with the sustaining truths of one's life. Regular reminders that we must see our world through the lens of love, and the aspiration to consider all life as precious. For if all of it is made of stardust, how can it not be wondrous? So this morning, let's welcome all these gifts with gratitude, for they have been paid for with many currencies. The blood of the martyrs who died so that we can be free in our religion, the sweat of those who persisted in justice's name against hostility and adversity, the tears of those who struggled to build better lives for those in this life, the questions of our children as they understand the world anew and offer their understanding to us as a fresh lens, the laughter and joy of those giddy with the embrace of community, the dollars and cents of those who gave what they could and then stretched a little more, the infinite small acts of service that make the parts greater than the whole, done by those who knew themselves in sympathy with our purposes. So today, with gratitude and humility, what it means to pay forward what has been paid forward for us. And now, with all of this, let us enter into worship with gladness in our hearts.
Our chalice lighting this morning is from Katie Savani Gelfand. We light our chalice as a symbol of gratitude as we celebrate the abundance of our lives together. In this sanctuary, we harvest bushels of strength for one another and offer our crop with the hands of compassion and generosity. In the authentic and gentle manner of our connections, we cultivate a simple sweetness to brighten our spirits. May we be grateful for the ways we nourish and uplift each other, for it is the sharing of this hallowed time together that sustains us. Please join me in our affirmation, which is printed on the back of your order of service and projected on the screen. Love is the doctrine of our church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humanity in harmony with the earth, thus do we covenant together. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our opening hymn, hymn number 1014 in the Teal hymnal, Answering the Call of Love.
The promise of the Spirit, with hope and love abide. If every soul is blessed and made whole, the truth in our hearts is our guide. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. Sometimes we build a barrier to keep love tightly bound, corrupted by fear, unwilling to hear, dwelling the beauty we found. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. A brand new day is dawning, when love will not divide. Reflections of grace in every embrace, fulfilling the visions divine. We are answering the call of love. Hands joined together as hearts beat as one. Emboldened by faith, we dare to proclaim we are answering the call of love. We are answering the call of love.
Good morning. My name is Kat Sabi, and my pronouns are she, her, hers. We also have helping Lisa Casto and Laura Wooten. Horizon works to make a difference in our local community, and one of the ways we do this is by donating shelf-stable foods and personal care items to the pantry at MetroCrest Services. Urgent needs right now are peanut butter, toothpaste, diapers for babies, and menstrual hygiene products. Please drop off your donations each Sunday after service in the labeled baskets in the sanctuary or the lobby. Now we have a story about construction. It's all about building our beloved community. This morning, we're going to use our imaginations to build a church. We're going to build our church, Horizon Unitarian Universalist Church. Do you see all the empty spaces in the structure to my left? They represent all the different areas that make up Horizon. So let's see if we can build Horizon from the ground up. Let's start with the foundation. The main purpose of a foundation is to hold the building up. A well-designed and strong foundation keeps the building standing, and a well-built foundation keeps the occupants of the building safe.
So, here are the policies and the bylaws handbook the Board of Trustees has developed over the years, many boards and many trustees. This is the information that helps keep our decision-making aligned with our values, safe practices, and legal regulations.
And here is our Horizon Covenant. Our covenant guides us in how to live together in community.
And of course, our mission statement, which we say every Sunday. Here's Horizon's mission statement: welcome radically, love boldly, grow spiritually, and serve courageously.
The next step to building our church is placing the cornerstone. The cornerstone sets the direction of the structure, the building's orientation, the way it will go. Historically, the cornerstone was the first stone set during the building process. Careful measurements were taken to ensure the cornerstone was square to set the proper alignment of the remainder of the building. I wonder what we can use for our cornerstone.
Wow. How about our hymnals? They represent worship. That's why we're here, really. Worship brings us together and grounds us in spirit and community.
Stewardship is represented by this big bag of money and this toolbox, which represents the monetary and physical care we give our church.
Thank you, stewardship and worship teams, for giving us what we need to set the direction of our church, to inspire us and set the direction spiritually, financially, and physically for how we can make our ideals happen. Now let's build the walls of our beloved community. Good quality walls provide strength and stability to the structure and give the building its form. They provide a sheltered place to gather where the congregation can learn, grow, serve, and be served.
So membership is represented by this blue card. It helps us welcome people into our church community.
And here's an instrument to represent our music program, choir and band.
Aw. So this is a program that's important to us. This stuffed owl and the flyer about a new Soul Matters group, got to show you that, see? Symbolize our children's and adult education programs, very important programs to us.
And here is a singing bowl to stand for all of our spiritual groups. Let's see. Johnny, ushers and greeters, walkie-talkie.
We have so many things that make a contribution to the church. Whoop. Ah. That was very disrespectful, I'm sorry. The ushers and greeters and safety team are represented by this walkie-talkie.
I wonder what this giant heart is for. Yes, for pastoral care in all of our support groups.
Oh, yay, the garden. I worked in the garden yesterday. I invite you all to join us anytime. And these garden gloves and trowel must be from the community garden and your galoshes this time of year.
And here is a casserole dish. It represents all of our social groups. We love to gather and eat.
What does this represent? And membership is represented by this blue card. It could be Horizon players, too. Oh. And I have a mask. Oh, you guys, you're so smart. It was Horizon Players.
A coffee cup stands for the coffee crew and all the hospitality Horizon offers. And lots of people like coffee.
Now we only have the roof left. This roof represents the parts of Horizon which are meant to highlight our highest ideals and reach for the sky. I wonder what we have to go on our roof.
You got to turn this the right way because I want to get the right vision. Our vision statement tells us that what our ultimate goal is, to build this beloved community filled with compassion and helping all to thrive in a just world.
This is a two-handed job. The pride flag and the shoes represent our justice effort. The flag shows our ideals, and the shoes are to show that Horizon walks the talk and puts our values into practice.
Is that next?
And here we have a binder showing a group which is helping Horizon plan for the future. The LDNC, the Leadership Development and Nominating Committee, finds and develops future leaders. So if you're interested, see me or Kristen or...
And here's the group that is also helping Horizon plan for the future. This binder represents the Governance Task Force, a group which is working to determine how Horizon will run itself in the future.
Just look at all the areas of the church that make up Horizon. The foundation, cornerstone, walls, and roof. It certainly takes many pieces to build our beloved community. Did you figure out what is missing from our church building here? It's you. Is this church anything at all without you? No. That's right, it's not. This church is nothing but a collection of empty spaces without all of you. Here you all are.
Aw. Wow, think of all the wonderful ways Horizon is changing lives. Please take some time this week to think about how you can help Horizon.
Thank you all for listening to our Time for All Ages today, and many thanks to our readers and helpers. Today we're going to start something new. In a moment, we will dismiss the children, if there are any here, there's a few, to go to their classrooms, and invite those who want to be seated in the sanctuary to come in and sit. If you are already in the sanctuary, please move toward the middle so that there's room for people to come and sit on the outside. Is everybody ready? We'll sing the children to their classrooms.
May your mind be open to new learning. May your lips bring truth into the world. May your heart know love and your hands do the work of justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
Let us take a moment to honor the ancestors of this church, the people who first came together to create a home for liberal religion here in North Texas, who worked to raise money for a building, who sat in committee meetings and created bylaws, who chopped and marinated and baked for potlucks, who painted and weeded and pounded nails and washed countless dishes, who gathered to worship, to learn, to grieve, to heal, to serve, to build justice, to transform their lives and this world. We are the recipients of an incredible gift and a beautiful vision. Let us do our part to keep this congregation strong, vital, and thriving for the generations to come. Thank you to our members and friends who give and pledge electronically. If you would like to give electronically, you may do so on the Breeze app or online at horizonuu.org/donate. The offering will now be joyfully given and received. Thank you for your generosity.
This is the same Lean on Me in your hymnal, 1027, if you want to follow along. Sometimes in our lives, we all have pain, we all have sorrow, but if we are wise, we know that there's always tomorrow. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. Please swallow your pride if I have things you need to borrow, for no one can fill those of your needs that you won't let show. Lean on me when you're not strong, I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on, for it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on. If there is a load you have to bear that you can carry, I'm right up the road, I'll share your load if you just call me. Just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Again, just call on me, brother, when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. You just might have a problem that you'll understand. We all need somebody to lean on. We all need somebody to lean on.
A reading from Lynn, Gardner. The tree stood in the middle of the village. Its trunk was so large that it took 6 people holding hands to reach around it. The roots were strong and wide, and its branches spread out over the village square, offering shelter from the rain or shade from the summer sun. Its fruit was juicy, sweet, and plentiful. The people of the village loved the tree. Children played beneath it and climbed in its lowest branches. Young people knew that if you whispered your dreams to the tree, they were more likely to come true. People who proclaimed their love or friendship for one another beneath its branches found their relationships to be nourishing, and elders discovered that their sweetest memories could be counted on when they were near the great tree. The tree had been witness to so much, and when the breezes blew through the leaves, one could hear echoes of generations, laughter, conversations, dreams, prayers, and songs. Animals loved the tree too. Rabbits lived in burrows under the roots, squirrels and monkeys lived in the branches, and bats and birds flew in to eat the abundant fruit. The tree seemed to buzz with life. One day, a traveling merchant arrived in the village. He rested in the shade and ate 2 pieces of delicious fruit. "This fruit is incredible," he said. "I would like to have some to sell in the next villages that I visit. Who owns this tree?" "No one owns this tree," replied a villager. "If anything, we belong to it." "Well then, if no one owns the tree, "Then no one will mind if I pick the fruit," said the merchant, and began to fill a basket. "I mind," said the villager, "and today I am the keeper of the tree." "What do you mean, keeper of the tree?" "We each take our turn being here with the tree. We could never own it. We are here as protectors, as sustainers." "That's ridiculous. The tree doesn't need you. You could just take what you need, take what you want. The tree will continue." But the villager couldn't be persuaded. "Sir, this tree isn't like that. We don't come here to take from it, even though we receive much. We are keepers of the tree because this is where we are nourished. This is where some of our most precious memories are and where our people have dreamed. This is where we remember who we want to become." "Well," said the merchant, "you may think this tree is very special, but it still doesn't need you to sit with it. That's preposterous." "Ah," replied the villager, "the tree itself may not need me, but what of others who come by? Just this morning I sat with a woman whose heart was heavy with worry. Had I not been here, she would have had to carry that weight alone. And this afternoon a tired couple came by, and they rested with me. They said they had been looking for a place like this. And then an elder came by, and we watched the birds in the branches together. And now you are here. You were confused about what this tree is and how to be with it. Imagine if you had arrived and not found anyone here to talk with. You might have continued thinking that everything you do is all about you. Luckily for you, my friend, I'm here to let you know that when you care for the tree of life, it becomes about so much more than just you." And the merchant sat for a while in the shade, thinking about these ideas that felt new and a little challenging. As the sun went down, he picked up his bag and headed out of town, whistling a song that he hadn't thought of in years. On his way, he shared a smile with each person he met, his heart feeling strangely light and joyful. And the people of the village? They continued to sustain the tree of life, to care for one another and to share their gifts with grace and gratitude. May it be so for each of us.
In the Christian Gospel of Matthew, Jesus tells the story of a master who was preparing to travel for an extended period of time. Before he left, he divided his property up between 3 of his servants. The first servant received 5 talents, where a talent was the equivalent of about 20 years of a laborer's wages. The second received 2 talents, and the third 1. The expectation was that they would take what they were given and be good stewards of the master's property, taking care of it as if it were their own. After some time, the master returned home and asked the servants for an accounting of how they used the talents they were given. The first and second servants told the master they took the money and invested it, each doubling their talents to 10 and 4 respectively. The master was pleased with those 2 servants. "Well done, good and faithful servants," he told them. "Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things." These 2 servants were good stewards of the money, and they would be rewarded for their wise investments. The third servant, though, told the master he took his servant and buried it, scared of what would happen if he invested the money and later lost it, something I'm sure many of us, myself included, can understand in perilous financial times. But this response enraged the master, who saw the servant as a poor steward of what he was given. He took the third servant's single talent and gave it to the first one and kicked the person out of his house. Now this may seem harsh, The person with the least number of talents was punished for his fear of what might happen to what little he was given. It's easy in a society where economic inequality is so rampant to have sympathy. But the thing that sticks out for me is that in the context of this parable, the servant already had all of his needs met. He had a warm house to sleep in and enough sustenance to ensure he would want for nothing. This was the duty of a master in ancient Rome. If they didn't provide for their servants, there would be no reason for them to stick around, and they would go find a place that would pay them what they were worth. The talent the servant was given then was wealth beyond what he needed to survive. It was a gift given him to take care of. And with inflation, the only way for the talent to not lose value was to invest it somehow so it could create more for everyone. Buried, not only could the talent not increase in worth, but it actually lost some. To be good stewards, each servant had to put what they were given to use. It was wasteful not to, a greater sin than losing the money altogether. For many of us in progressive circles, this parable can sound counterintuitive. In North Texas, many of us are very sensitive that some of our religious neighbors are focused only on money. I hope that Horizon is different. We don't come here to make money or make anyone rich. If I did that, I'm in the wrong line of business. If that's not my hope. People come here for enrichment, for community, to make meaning, and hopefully to make the world a better place in the end. And so many people find Horizon for these reasons and more, because we are known as a beacon of progressive values in North Texas, a place that puts love at the center of everything we do. Nevertheless, what does it mean to be a good steward of everything that has been given to you? I'll tell you what it does not mean. It does not mean giving more than you are able, but using and supporting wisely what you are given. For example, it could be said that I could squander my talents in writing, speaking, and companionship that I use in ministry every week by not using them faithfully. And it could be said that I'm burying these talents. It's a fitting word for this sermon, not allowing them to come to full fruition. I must nurture them and invest in them so that I will reach my full potential. A job that's never done, since there will always be something I can learn, and there will always be someone who's a better preacher than me. It also means being on the lookout for new talents that I can nurture. I've been doing that some myself, something you'll hear about in a future sermon. Stay tuned. It means more than that, though. At a time when so many people are looking for community, for a so-called third space where they can go for fellowship, enrichment, and encouragement, it can be tempting to see institutions as self-perpetuating. I see that in Unitarian Universalist circles as well, and I think it's part of our consumer circle culture. It can be tempting to see church as a place where you come in for a product, a good sermon or an RE class, or to see your friends, and then you just leave at the end having gotten what you needed. But it doesn't take long to sit in a board meeting to realize that this community wouldn't run if it wasn't for the time, talent, and treasure of its members. The talent, tangible and intangible gifts we bring to make this community what it is. It's so tempting that I know some of you struggle not to give more than you're able. especially when it comes to your talent and time. But it takes all of us together, sharing what we can, to build communities that will be a blessing for generations to come. We must be generous together, and that's something our Horizon community has been doing since the beginning. If you care about the world right now, if you are worried about it, we need institutions like Horizon to make sure we still have a place where we can feel safe and at home. Now, I want to acknowledge there are some of the founding members of this congregation still here. I can't always say that in every congregation, and for you, I'm very grateful for the many sacrifices you've made over the years, through good times and bad, to make this the community it is. In fact, on a weekly basis, you tell me stories about this community, even before this building existed. For the rest of us, though, even if you've been coming for decades, we are heirs to the legacy of this church. We are trusted to steward it through the times we are living in, to ensure we can pass it on to the younger generations who will eventually inherit it. I know I feel a great duty when I think of those who came before me. To Marty Robinson, the lay leader without whom this church would not exist at all, whose legacy still reverberates through these walls. To the Reverend Dennis Hamilton, our minister emeritus, whose ministry during close to 3 decades nourished and shepherded generations of people through these doors. To Reverend Laura Brandis, whose ministry helped this church through the COVID lockdown, and to the Reverends Helen Carroll and Meredith Barber, whose interim ministries helped this congregation find direction. And this isn't even to name the many directors of religious education, office administrators, music directors, pianists, AV technicians, child care workers, lay leaders, and members whose contributions over the years have shaped us into what we are today and ensured that this congregation would be here for everyone who needs it. Stewardship is about more than money. It's about more than paying the staff. It's about more than building repair. It's about more than any one thing put together. It's a great weight to bear. And it asks us to think, how do we invest in our community in such a way that grows it into an abundance that blesses all who come through our doors? So stewardship is definitely about all of those things. But it's about how do we bring our time, talent, and treasure to make sure that this community exists for others. Here's the thing, in a capitalist society, we need money in order to survive. So stewardship is absolutely about meeting our budgetary needs for our buildings, programs, and staffing. After all, if we don't have enough money, the reality is we will need to make cuts. But stewardship is more than that. As in Jesus' parable, stewardship is about taking what we have and using it wisely so that it grows and grows into not what we want, but what is needed. My question for you is, what has Horizon meant to you over the years? What has it given you that has made you a better person or has helped you through difficult times? Where would you be if Horizon hadn't been here when you needed it? We all give in different ways. I've had some of you tell me, please don't ask me to do a worship service. But you're really good at household repairs, so you join buildings and grounds. My hat's off to you. If I was a lay leader, that would not be the committee I would be a member of. You're better off without me fooling with the plumbing Or maybe your gift is to offer your voice in the choir or your musical talents in the band. Perhaps you enjoy joining us for board meetings or looking over profit and loss statements with finance committee. And some of you do have talents in designing worship and join me in the worship committee and its associated teams. None of us can do everything, but we do what we can. And hopefully each of you sees your contribution as being invaluable to the ministry of Horizon. Even if all you can do is show up for Sunday services, thank you, because it sure would be boring to preach to an empty room. It's the same with financial stewardship. We're all in different places and positions in our lives that affect how much we're able to give back together. As we launch our Generous Together stewardship campaign, our stewardship team is able to provide some guidance on what you might consider giving. Really, though, what we're asking you to do is look in your heart and ask, what do I have to give? What must I give for a community that has given so much? Without financial pledges, we can't run the church. We're a mid-sized congregation that requires it. But what I'm also asking you to do is imagine what this congregation could be. In this age, we need Horizon. We need a place of a beacon of progressive values in an age that is creeping more and more towards illiberalism. Imagine if we became known in the community as the place where love is at the center, because our staff and volunteers are always where love is needed, because we're able to provide a prophetic witness of the way things could be to a different way of being in the world. What is a stewardship campaign really about? It's about asking, what do you want Horizon to be in the future? It's about investing in our community in many different ways, so our dreams of what this community could be can come true. Imagine a religious education program bursting so much at the seams that we have to talk about what that means for the future. Imagine a teaching congregations where Unitarian Universalist seminarians want to come and be the best ministers they can be. Imagine a congregation known for its music. UUs aren't often known for our music. In fact, many times we have this reputation of not being terribly good musicians. We know that's wrong. Imagine that people could come and feel uplifted every week. Imagine a community that's able to go out and work to build that beloved community. All of this is possible and more, but it depends on what we can give. We are already known in the Unitarian Universalist world as a community of love, a people of compassion, a place where justice finds voice. And I know that together we will lead this into the future. So as you're considering what you can give in terms of both financial giving and volunteering, I'm not asking you to give more than you're able. In fact, I'll be the first to tell you to stop if I realize you are. I'm asking you to look and give what you can. I believe if each of us can do that, if we can avoid hiding our talents, Horizon will be a place where people welcome radically, love boldly, grow spiritually, and serve courageously for many decades to come. Because the minister isn't Horizon, the board isn't Horizon, that bookshelf isn't Horizon. You are Horizon, and I know you to be a generous people. May it be so. Will you please join us in our doxology? You'll find the words projected on the screen. We now take time to honor the sorrows and joys of this community, knowing that we are all interconnected and that what affects one affects us all. An anonymous joy and sorrow. I'm just really scared for the future, but I know there are still good people, and I know there are helpers. Another anonymous one that didn't mark whether it was a joy or sorrow, so I'll let you interpret. It's for all parents because paternity is hard. An anonymous sorrow on behalf of a young trans person, sending healing thoughts they were attacked and injured in a bathroom they are now legally required to use. And we light a candle this morning to honor all the joys and sorrows which have gone unspoken and reside only in our hearts. Please join me in the spirit of prayer and meditation in whatever way feels right with these words from Gretchen Haley. It will be followed by a moment of silence, which will be broken by our responsive hymn, number 1031 in the Teal Hymnal, Filled with Loving Kindness. In the spirit of the prophet Amos, the Unitarian minister A. Powell Davies prayed, "Help us to remember, O God, that from those to whom much has been given, much is expected." Let us join our hearts and spirits now in prayerful reflection. To whom much is given, even more is asked. We have been given the bounty of this beautiful day, and we have been given the gift of the worship tradition that draws us together into this house of hope and memory, of learning, of healing, of growing, and of serving. We lift up our grateful hearts. We have been given the inspiration of our siblings in faith who walk with us the path of the free religious life, who companion us in our joys and sorrows, who are ours by some design of fate or necessity to care for and to love, to forgive and to cherish. For this time of our lives, we lift our grateful hearts. We have been given minds with which to wonder and to reason, and we have been given voices to speak and to sing and to shout against injustice, and we have hands to work and build the better world we would have for ourselves and our children. We are asked to use them all in the service of love and justice. We lift our grateful hearts. We have been given the divine spark as children of love, all whose health and wholeness requires us to tend to the life of the soul. In our rushing and our doing, may we not forget whose we are and what we truly are. Not human beings having a spiritual experience, but spiritual beings having a human experience. We lift up grateful hearts. We ponder this mystery together, glad for one another, blessed by the abundance of our lives, and called to give abundantly of ourselves in it. Blessed be.
May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be filled with loving kindness. May I be well. May I be peaceful and at ease. May I be whole. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be filled with loving kindness. May you be well. May you be peaceful and at ease. May you be whole. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be filled with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be whole.
Please join me in a responsive reading from Julián, Jamaica, Soto. You'll find the words printed in the insert in your order of service and projected on the screen behind me. All that we are, together and individually, is part of the abundance of the universe. We are made of stars. We are made of earth. All that we have comes from earth, from the labor of those in our communities, from the cities, farms, and oceans that live in us, the world, and those who live in it. We are surrounded by blessing, by grace, and by possibilities. We are reflected in every other human being. We respect and honor one another's differences. We celebrate our interbeing with abundance and the practice of generosity. We worship together as one with love at the center.
Thank you for being a friend. Travel down the road and back again. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. My hat is off, won't you stand up and take a bow? And if you threw a party, invited everyone you knew, you would see the greatest gift would be from me, and the card attached would say, thank you for being a friend. 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 If it's a car you lack, I'd sure you buy you a Cadillac. Whatever you need, any time of the day or night. I'm not ashamed to say, I hope it always will stay this way. stand up and take a bow. When we both get older, with walking canes and hair of gray, have no fear, even though it's hard to hear. I will stand real close and say thank you for being a friend. 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 Let me tell you about a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. And when we die, float away into the night, the Milky Way. Hear me call as we ascend. And see you there. And once again, thank you for being a. So Sajwa's gonna be here and sing the I wanna thank you. So if you know that part and you'd like to sing along, could you? All right. Thank you for being a friend. 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 Let me tell you about a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a friend. Oh, I wanna tell you right now, tell you again. I wanna thank you right now for being a friend. I wanna tell you right now, thank you for being a friend. For those who are new, I'm Kel. I'm our music director. My pronouns are he, him. Could you please give a warm welcome to Mr. Bryce Gardner here on drums? If you were at the congregational meeting in the winter, you know what I'm about to say. So I can't promise this much music every Sunday. I'm looking at the time, that's probably for the best. But imagine this trio every Sunday. That's what I'm proposing. So, as Reverend Chris kind of alluded to, I think we are poised to be leaders in the UU world, as in showing a new way of using new, powerful music to spread love and resist fascism, as we need. Because all that is in the music. All that is in the music. And of course, that's not disregarding choir at all. Please join choir. But this is one of the things that your stewardship can do. So thank you very much for everything you do already.
Thank you, Kel, for being our friend. Good morning, friends. My name is Laura Wooten, and I'm the team lead for the stewardship campaign this year. Reverend Chris asked me to speak today about why stewardship is important right now. I was listening to Barbara Brown Taylor, who is a former Episcopal priest and author, and she tells about a time she was invited to speak, and in discussing what to talk about, her host asked her, What is saving your life right now? What a profound question in February 2025. When I began planning this campaign, it was during an election year, and many of us hoped for a different outcome. Things didn't turn out as we'd hoped, and while I'm not here to be political, I will say that the uncertainty of the world feels especially heavy for many of us right now. That's why this community matters more than ever, because it offers a place of shared values, meaningful connection, and much-needed respite in challenging times. At a time when so many people are struggling with loneliness and disconnection, Horizon is a place where we can come together, support one another, and truly belong. So what is saving my life right now? My dog, my loving husband, raising my son, being a support for my daughter, singing in worship, nature, moving my body, donating blood, reading a good book, and you. You, yes, you, the members of Horizon with whom I share common values, with love at the center, with whom I work together to fulfill our vision of a beloved community filled with compassion, helping all to thrive in a just world. While this vision feels extremely hard right now, it starts here with how we treat with one another, with how we save one another. Now let me give you a few nitty-gritties about the campaign. Why a stewardship campaign right now? Some of you have wondered why we're asking for a pledge now, especially if you were recently asked. We moved from a year-round process to a once-a-year campaign, and we're asking everyone to turn in a new pledge and reconsider the amount if they're able. We have an aggressive and yet achievable goal this year. Our financial goal is $450,000, and we are asking for 100% participation in the campaign. So what do you need to do? Step one is determine your pledge. So many people ask us, how much should I give? What should I pledge? Everyone's financial situation is different, which is why we developed this giving guide used by other UU churches, but also we've customized it for Horizon. You received it via email this week, and it is available on the bulletin board between the bathrooms. It gives you the benchmarks and asks you to consider your pledge thoughtfully, and if possible, increase the amount you're donating. We understand everyone's financial situation is different, and we encourage you to thoughtfully consider your relationship with the church and your capacity for giving. Step two, remember the church needs your pledge to continue the work we do saving lives. The money supports the work of the church, be it preaching, pastoral care, social justice, religious education, and just keeping the lights on. Step three, pledge. Once you've determined your pledge for this year, please go to horizonuu.org/stewardship to complete your pledge online by March 3rd. Currently, we have 30 pledges out of 160, and we've reached 36% of our goal. We might be able to pass our goal. There are also QR codes in the order of service that can take you to that page as well, and you can keep track of our progress with the bulletin board. We've got little measurement things telling you where we are on our 100% goal and on our financial goal out there. Finally, remember why we are here. We are saving lives. Last week's Celebrate Horizon event, along with the stories shared from our pulpit, our newsletter, and in the order of service, remind us of a profound truth. Horizon is in the business of saving lives in countless ways. Horizon has been an anchor for me throughout the years. When I first joined the church nearly 30 years ago, I was young, idealistic, and truthfully, I didn't really know much about life. I got involved in teaching RE before I had young children, before I had any children, and because I wanted that one-on-one interaction with children and to make an impact on lives. I taught OWL our whole lives, along with my husband, who has recently returned to teaching it. Now both of my children have gone through OWL, the OWL curriculum, which is just one of the many ways we're saving lives. This place isn't just a part of my life, it's woven into the fabric of who I am and how I want to live in the world. Sorry. In these difficult times when our values of inherent worth and dignity, equity, diversity, and inclusion are under attack,
when fear and worry can feel like a constant companion. It's good to know there's a place we can come for connection, respite, and renewal. Here, we share values that anchor us. This church is a place that teaches us how to live with joy, with generosity, and with purpose, to find hope when hope is hard to find, as the song goes. We don't know what the future holds, but we know we are needed. We know we need to be that beloved community for one another to do the hard work the world demands of us. So please carefully consider your support of Horizon. Your pledge is for those who dreamed of this church and made it a reality. It is for those who walk through this door each week and make it a living community. And it is for those who have yet to find their way here. May we welcome them with open hearts in this time of need. Thank you.
We extinguish this flame, but not our commitment to welcome radically, love boldly, grow spiritually, and serve courageously. This we do because we envision a beloved community filled with compassion, helping all to thrive in a just world. I would like to invite you to rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, hymn number 1017, in the Teal hymnal, Building a New Way.
We are building a new way. We are building a new way. We are building a new way, feeling stronger every day. We are building a new way. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. We are working to be free. Hate and greed and jealousy. We are working to be free. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. We can feed our every need. Start with love, that is the seed. We can feed our every need. Peace and freedom. Peace and freedom is our cry. Peace and freedom is our cry. Without these, this world will die. Peace and freedom is our cry.
Could I ask the musicians to stay up here real quick? I'm about to mess y'all and Sarah up real quick because I'm going to do something on the fly. After the benediction, I'm going to ask them to do the first verse of Building a New Way, one more time. And here's what we're going to do for the benediction today. I'm going to ask you to cross your arms, and towards the end, I'm going to have some words that I'm going to invite you to open your arms up to. And to give credit where credit is due, this was all written by Sarah Nadel. Please do not credit it to me because she came up with this on the fly, and I love it. Our benediction today is by the Reverend Michael A. Schuler. If you are proud of this church, become its advocate. If you are concerned for its future, share its message. If its values resonate deep within you, give it a measure of your devotion. This church cannot survive without your faith, your confidence, your enthusiasm. Its destiny, the larger hope, rests in your hands. We now take the fire within us and share it with others as we go. Amen. Blessed be. Go in peace, and let's sing that hymn like you mean it.